We're back. Pat stopped in. He didn't want to get on camera, but he went through a whole 15-minute spiel about fantasy football. I feel very enlightened now. I'm not sure where we left off. I think it was Kurt and Joey. I really like Joey's receivers. We were just talking about CD Lamb and Waddle. Kittle's decent, but his running backs, Henderson and Brian Robinson, are not good. And then on the other hand, Kurt has Henry, Etienne, Steph Diggs. So I think it's going to end up being a Kurt day again, and that probably puts a nail in Joey's coffin.
I agree. I'm going with Kurt. He just has too much in that, that running back spot.
Kurt. All right. Next one's the big game. It's Stu versus Pat. Stu 6-3, Pat 7-2. So one of these guys will lose, and I guess that keeps within striking distance, but we're still 3 games off pace. Stu got pretty good matchups. Mahomes versus Jacksonville, Chubb versus Miami, Kenneth Walker versus Tampa Bay is not great, but Kenneth Walker's been really good. Arizona is going to try to guard Cooper Kupp. That probably won't happen. Amon-Ra versus Chicago, and Kelsey versus Jacksonville, and Christian Kirk versus Casey. Good matchups all the way. Maybe Walker versus Tampa's not great, but Walker's a pretty good. He's matchup proof. The other side for Pat, Jalen Hurts versus Washington, Mostert versus Cleveland. I don't love Mostert. Khalil Herbert versus Detroit. I don't love Chicago running backs at all. Jefferson versus Buffalo. That's another tough matchup too. Godwin at Seattle. AJ Brown at Washington. The teams are pretty similarly matched, but I think this is when Stu gets back right here. I think his matchups are just too good to lose this week.
Yeah, I agree. The lineup that Stu has, I think
that's a solid lineup.
There's
not a weakness.
Lineup, yeah.
Christian Kirk is their weakest player, and he's, what did he?
He's having a solid year.
Yeah, he's wide receiver 10. So I guess Amon-Ra, with all his injuries, is he still in the top? He's 30, so he has 2 wide receiver 1s and a wide receiver 3. And I assume Kupp's number 2. Yeah, so he's marching out a solid lineup.
I'm going with Stu.
I agree. Last game is you versus Bry. You're both 3-6. Tua versus Cleveland. Najee versus New Orleans. Let's see if the bye week did him good. Jamal Williams versus Chicago. Terry McLaurin versus Philly. Philly has great corners. And Njoku versus Miami. And Njoku's back. I think he's been really promising, but who knows if he's still banged up or whatnot. Gabe Davis versus Minnesota. I don't think the Josh Allen injury kills Stephon Diggs, but it definitely kills Gabe Davis, I think. I think that's the issue. For you, Aaron Rodgers versus Dallas. Dallas's Micah Parsons looks crazy. It looks great. Kamara versus the Steelers. Do you think Kamara... the Steelers don't have a great run defense, but I think when they can key in on one guy like Kamara, they except for Dalvin Cook last year, I guess. But usually when they can key in on one guy, they tend to shut him down. Are you nervous about that matchup?
No, I think, especially if TJ comes back this week, I think the defense will get a lift from that. Yeah. I think the Steelers are going to win because of that, actually.
I didn't see anything out of Andy Dalton and the New Orleans Saints last week versus Baltimore. Baltimore had a nice revamped offense. Justin Houston got 2 sacks, so I'm assuming TJ, that's like a nice ease your way back into it game. Barkley versus Houston, DK Metcalf versus Tampa, DeAndre Hopkins versus the Rams. Apparently the Rams have some issues of their own. Jalen Ramsey is aggravated that the offense can't finish games out, so that's definitely what you want to hear from one of your defensive stars. See, you still have Kyle Pitts versus Carolina. That game should be going...
They're walking on the field.
10 minutes or so. You excited about that matchup?
It's probably going to be, especially in the weather, a bunch of runs, probably a 9-6 game.
Game will be over an hour and a half.
Kyle Pitts is going to have 1 catch for 8 yards.
1 for 8. Okay, that's a career high. I'm taking you because Bry scored 50 points last week.
Yeah, I'm taking me as well. Bry guy's lineup's pretty pathetic.
Does he still have, who did he have? Oh, Waller. He had Waller that he kept in. Oh, look, Herbert's up. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Man, he was good. Beginning of the year, we thought he had a great team. We said how great him and Stu drafted, not being at the draft. But that's it for the matchups. How about the power rankings? You ready for that?
Yeah, sure.
Let's see what you got.
Number 12, we're not moving anywhere.
Palmer it is.
You lose 6 in a row. You're falling fast.
Snoop Dogg once said, or maybe it was Dr. Dre, if you can't swim, you bizzound and drizzound. And Palmer is drowning.
That is the Crumb Snatchers. Number 11, fallen, is the Rough Cats.
Okay.
They, you said it, scored 50 points last week. They were outscored by one
Two
player.
individual, Fields and Mixon both outscored the team.
So, Bry guy, we liked his team, but we were wrong. Look at our teams.
Yeah. Every team we liked is just got destroyed.
Coming in next is Joey, chasing a championship. We talked about his team enough all year. Nothing really. Nothing more to talk about. Coming in next, staying, is the generic team. Jeff.
Oh, forgot about Jeff.
He's staying put right now. I know he won last week, but still I think a little bit too little too late. It has some good players. Dak, Tyreek, Mike Evans, Austin Eckler.
That team wins a championship last year.
I don't know how his team is where it's at.
Yeah, no doubt.
Coming in at number 9 is Ben's Baloney's Bobbers.
Number 8.
Or number 8?
Yeah, number 8.
It's either way. It's Ben's Baloney Bobbers. Just a lot of underperforming in Aaron Rodgers, Kyle Pitts. Can't seem to really string much together. I'm second in my division in points.
That's a frustrating
3 and
situation.
6, and it's just frustrating year all around.
I thought that was a dog.
Coming in at number 7 is Batting Lawn.
There it is.
You and I were floating around that 3 and 6 range. Can't seem to put it together. I think your division's locked up. Mine might have a little more play, but it's getting there.
A little bit of wiggle room, I think.
Coming in at what number are we on?
6.
Coming number 6 is the SA Quarantine. Abbott's team, Joe Mixon had a really big week last week. He had a big week last week that carried Matt, but other than coming in that last playoff spot, I don't see his team doing much. Coming in at number 5 is Return Doubtful. I see
fell back a little bit, 2 spots.
I see the other division, the top of that division is very strong. Between 2 and 6 in this division, 2 and 5 in this division, it could go any which way. The other division, I think that's where we're moving up to number 4. I'm actually going with Dirty Sanchez at number 4.
Oh, wow. He fell back a little bit, but he did lose, so could have paid a price.
And it's not necessarily him. It's the 2 teams above him. And it's the 2 teams above him. I think Kurt's team and Pat's team are both rolling pretty strong right now. Coming in number 3, we are going to go with the General.
He moved up. He was at 5 last week.
Coming in number 2, I'm going the Army and North. I think Kurt's team is maybe the hottest team in the league, or the second hottest team in the league. And that is only behind the number 1 team, the So Agenda.
Yep.
That has now 7 wins.
How many in a row?
4. Kurt's on a 3-game win streak. The Agenda's on a 4-game win streak.
And he's been the crown holder. He beat Kurt 4 weeks ago. And he's won ever since. So that was Kurt's loss, and they both have won ever since. And have they both... Kurt. And Pat's only hit the average twice in those 4 weeks. Kurt's hit it 3 times, so shows you it's a lot about who you're playing. All right, well, that wraps up this week. Were you watching the game at Sunday?
Probably just here.
Yeah, come
home from Deep Creek.
Yeah, I was trying to think when checkout. I guess checkout's like the afternoon, early afternoon,
I
late
would
morning.
imagine.
I don't know. Is there a There's a Germany game. What time's that in the morning?
9:30.
So it's still about the same time.
I think so.
I don't know how the countries work, how big they are, like their time zones, how that works. You watching anything? I know you had a busy week moving, but
I started watching a movie last night on Netflix with Mark Wahlberg.
Mark.
I can't remember what it was called.
The Departed.
No, it was a new one. Mile 22 maybe or something like that?
I don't know any movie. Mile 22.
Mile 22.
What's that about?
I don't know. I fell asleep pretty early into it.
Wasn't that great?
There were some Russians, and I'm guessing he's a member of the CIA.
Maybe.
And next thing I remember, they were in like Thailand or something, but then I fell asleep.
Maybe getting Sapporo.
I'll finish it tonight though, because I'm off tomorrow. Because we're going to Deep Creek.
What time are you leaving? 2.
Maybe.
You gonna listen to the podcast on the way? Or when we get there, you should throw it on the TV. Definitely. Should we film there?
I think we should.
I know Tom doesn't want to be involved. He's very concerned.
What does he think that we're going to film him saying or doing?
First of all, what does he think we're going to do? He's
Who
against
does he
beer
think
pong.
watches it?
Whoever's in our league. And every one of them say they don't, but then they say stuff from the podcast. They all watch it. Why wouldn't you watch it? I would watch it. If Joey always wants a competing one, I would watch Joey's.
It's an electric show.
It's just something new every day, you know. So we get new rooms to film in, new houses. This is location number 3 this year, and we'll have location number 4 this weekend.
Damn.
And then when we get the what are you gonna call your basement? You can't call it the Thunderdome.
Maybe we should put that up for a vote. Maybe we should tell the audience to submit their
submit your names.
Yeah,
it's like a sponsorship.
They know the email address.
nclfantasy@gmail.com.
And next week, after all the entries are submitted, we'll go through and we'll pick one. We'll vote.
And maybe that's if your vote gets picked, you get to be on the show. Or you can be like Pat and be off camera.
Look at that.
Talk for 40 minutes about your team.
Do you think, since we're going to Deep Creek, and we'll bring this, do you think Tim will join us?
I wish I would have thought of this. I would have got a gyroscope thing for your iPhone. That's how you film now, and no matter what you do, it always stays centered. It's like $5. It's the best tool ever. If we could have just followed him around.
You should order one to the house.
I hope. I don't think to that house.
Yes.
Oh, that would be awesome. I do have a special surprise for Tim when we get there. I have a little bit of decorating ideas for him. Did you see the Lamar video with the kid?
I did.
That's pretty wild.
I like Lamar. He's a very likable person.
I was going to say he's very likable. Whether you would like his team or think he's worth the money or not, I don't know anyone that says they don't like Lamar Jackson.
Except for this past week when he needed to give me 2 more points. And
he did all he could do.
No, he could have just took the ball.
Who was his number 1 receiver last week?
You don't need a receiver, just run.
Yeah, he could have ran too, but a business decision if you ask McAfee. He doesn't want to take the hit.
Well, now I'm out because of it.
You are out. Anything to say? You want to apologize to Melissa or anybody?
No.
Who's next out?
Probably her.
Are you going to power rank the Guillotine League? You should do it tomorrow so we have something to talk about.
Well, I'll give you a guess.
Okay. This is what has to happen. You need to power rank the Guillotine League. We'll film a really quick emergency video, and then we'll watch that video at Melissa's birthday. I feel that's the way to go. Because she's not getting down there till late. So we can bang out, and it'll be a 20-minute episode.
Just a little preview. She'll be last.
Well,
Pat will be first.
What about Palmer?
Palmer.
Oh, boy, you got a toss-up. This is why you need to think about it a bit. There's a lot, you have a lot of people that you need to have at the bottom.
Yeah, maybe in Guillotine his team's a little better than...
He has $9 left, I think. Yeah. If you have less money in Guillotine than you have in your pocket currently, that's a problem.
Yeah. I mean, but hey, he lasted longer than Tags and I.
Yeah. And you know what I thought about that? You Tags invested a first rounder in a quarterback, and you got 2 high-end quarterbacks. So I think it's I'm an anti-quarterback guy.
The only thing I'll say is I told you all year, I needed to win week 9. If I was going to go out, it was going to be week 9.
Yeah.
And if I lasted past that,
What was
I
week
felt
9?
really
Who was your
good.
bye?
I had everyone on bye.
Oh, and that's when you had Dak for Lamar. It would have been this week because
Yeah, but everyone else.
Yeah.
Cooper was on bye. Naj was on bye. Kittle was on
Najee
bye.
has been on bye all year. He's still on the free agent listing if you're interested.
Not a lot of smart people in that league then.
All the people that are still in are less smart.
Yeah, exactly.
Good enough. All right, well, that's a wrap. This is part 2. This is 15 minutes. I think the first one's 20 minutes, so about 35. Can zip us on the way down, get you to... How do you even get there? I know it's south.
51.
South. I don't...
Go to 51, the Uniontown bypass. Then I
There ain't no
forget.
toll roads, is there? So I'll keep the receipts for Pat.
No, you could if you went 43.
That's how
But
you get to Cal U, I know that.
Uniontown bypass, and then you'll go past like Nemacolin. Then you get on Friendsville, zip right into Deep Creek.
Zip.
Hour 45.
Excellent. All right. Well, maybe we'll see you Sunday. Maybe we'll see you Friday afternoon for a guillotine league thing. Can't think of it. Power ranking.
The special guillotine power rankings.
I would love the emergency guillotine podcast. That's a pasty kid there.
Thank you.
All right. That's a wrap. See you
Adios.
soon.
Oh, no.